some other people that maybe death is not a very bad thing. Shakespeare said in Julius Caesar that some cowards die so many times before their death that the brave do not taste of death but just once. And I want to say that death is a necessary evil. Fear death. Then the other day I was talking to somebody else, he told me, you shouldn't really fear death. He said that, look, if you are sick, there are only two things that can happen to you. Either you will be treated and you will get well, they have nothing to fear. But if you don't recover, then you die. But if you die, there's nothing to fear. Why? Because you either go to heaven or to hell. If you go to heaven, there's nothing to worry about. You'll be okay. Even if you go to hell, there's nothing to worry about. You'll find so many of your friends. So spend a long time just greeting them. How are you? How are you? Before your time for the fire comes. So therefore, don't fear. You have nothing to fear as Kenyans.
The channel, death is inevitable, as the late Raila put on that clip. But I hope he was in good standing with God at the time of his demise. So now that the news is official about his passing, I just thought of highlighting why his passing is a big deal, especially to Gen Zs. Announcement, MediaMax went on to plaster his history on their page. So you can see here from 1982 to 1988, he was detained for the alleged role in the 1982 coup attempt. Then in 89 to 91, he was detained for pushing for multi-party democracy. In 1991, he was detained briefly for fraud activities. Then on the same year, he went to exile in Norway and later returned to join Ford. Then in 92 to 2013, he was the MP of Langata. 2001 to 2002, he became the Minister of Energy. 2003 to 2005, he was the Minister of Roads and Public Works and Housing. 2008 to 2013, he was the Prime Minister in the coalition with President Mwai Kibaki after the disputed presidential election, because it was widely believed he won that 2007 election, but he was rigged out. Then he contested for presidency 5 times, 97, 2007, 2013, 2017, and 2022. Then in 2025, he contested for the position of chairperson of the African Union Commission, which I'm sure every Gen Z knows he lost to the Djibouti candidate. Tributes have come in from notable people. Last tribute I noticed was from Martha Karua, who was a running mate in the 2022 election. And the message read, "My condolence message to Mama Ida Odinga and family on the shocking and sad news of the passing of Right Honorable Raila Odinga. I will remember him as a fearless defender of people, a voice of the voiceless, and a steadfast comrade in the fight for the second liberation. Rest in peace, Kinara wangu." Then she penned a letter there, which I'm not going to read out. Came from Rigathi Gachagua, the impeached vice president. And the message read, "Baba Raila Odinga, may you rest well. To the family, your spouse, Mama Ida Odinga, and your children, my family and I join you in prayer during this difficult moment. My deepest sympathies to you and to the people of the Republic of Kenya. The Enigma Baba, the father of our democracy and a formidable hero of Kenya's second liberation. You stood tall and strong in the intellect. knowledge, and quest for democracy. You faced brutal regimes, brutality, you are tortured, jailed, abducted, and detained severally for Kenya. When the history of Africa's Pan-Africanism is written, your chapter as the indefatigable lion of Africa will attract many readers. You dedicated your life in the service of humanity as a political activist, a civil servant, a university lecturer, an MP, a party leader, a cabinet minister, a prime minister, and many other fronts. On all this, your trail of success and impact remains indelible. Kenyans will not only remember your craft in resilience, persistence, and democratic values days on, but also your voice during difficult moments. It will be remembered that you are at the forefront in the fight for Kenya's democracy and liberation of Kenya on many fasts. Most profoundly, Kenya's multi-party democracy and the Constitution of Kenya 2010, a race you strongly stood in for, and we, the people of Kenya, shall never forget. Much as we have never been on the same page politically, I have had a strong admiration of Raila Odinga's art of forming and sustaining a strong political party that survived 4 general elections. I remain amazed by his choice of quality legislators to fly the party flag and eloquently articulate party policies and the people they represented. The next one is from Kalonzo Musyoka, the chairperson of Wiper Party. And it read, I received the devastating news of the death of the second Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, my dear brother, Right Honorable Raila Amollo Odinga this morning, upon my arrival at Heathrow International Airport, London, United Kingdom, where I am on a scheduled 10-day program. Odinga, fondly referred to for decades as Baba by his ardent supporters, family and friends, and albeit begrudging in admiration by his most fiercest detractors, was more than an enigma. Baba was a force of nature that kept on going and going despite and in spite of the hurdles put in front of him. Baba was the longest suffering political detainee in Kenya, at the heart of the struggle for multipartyism. Raila's body bore the scars of the slings and arrows, bullets and batons that no man or woman should ever endure. Yet at each point of release from the detention cells and torture chambers, he would raise his arms up to the heavens, his fist clenched in determination, resolved that the tears and painful scars he personally suffered would yield to democracy and freedom for his beloved Kenya. That is why we call him the champion of the second political liberation. Baba's physical and mental struggle for Kenya, well documented nationally and internationally, earned him the title Agwambo. In the years I interacted with Agwambo professionally in Kenya's political space, I got to understand why he was referred to as that. From the opposition benches to the government sides as Prime Minister to August 2010, the day our new constitution was promulgated. My brother Raila played an instrumental and integral role in devolving power from an imperial presidency to a people-centered constitutional order. For that, we owe him our immense gratitude. Since 2013, I had the singular privilege of working very closely and passionately with my brother, twice as his running mate both in CORD and NASA, as well as his partner in the Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya coalition. We learned a lot from each other and shared a lot of pain together. To Mama Ida and their entire family, in particular Rosemary, Raila Jr. and Winnie, as much as I cannot imagine the shock and the heartbreak that you're currently going through, I want you to know that my family and I stand in solidarity with you. In this regard, I know that all Kenyans are praying for you. Kenya has lost an exemplary leader, the president who won but was never declared and sworn into office. The loss of Raila is not only a loss to his family and country, but also to the entire African continent. I will miss my brother and friend dearly. I am therefore rearranging my schedule of engagements in the United Kingdom in honor of my fallen brother. May God rest his soul in peace. This message came from David Maraga, who is also a presidential aspirant for 2027. And it said the United Green Movement Party, which is Maraga's party, and its entire fraternity have received the sad and shocking news of the passing away of Raila. We extend our most heartfelt condolences to his wife and children. Raila was arguably the most consequential politician in post-independence Kenya, shaping our nation's journey back to political pluralism and democracy. He contributed massively to the fight against the abuse of human rights, corruption, tribalism, electoral injustice, and impunity in our country. He was a towering figure leading the reforms that culminated in the Constitution of Kenya 2010. A foremost Pan-African, he has left an indelible mark as a champion of democracy, peace, security, and development in Africa. He will continue to be remembered fondly by many of us as Baba and a true founding father for our growing nation. We shall continue to relentlessly push for the positive ideals he stood for as we perfect our democracy and constitutionalism. May his passing galvanize all Kenyans towards an ethnic and inclusive politics centered on good governance, accountability, rule of law. Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president, read, "My heart is heavy and my spirit is burdened with a grief that is both profound and deeply personal. The news of Raila's passing has left a silence that echoes across our nation, a silence where once there was a voice of thunder and conviction. To me, Raila was more than a political colleague. He was a defining part of my own journey in public service and in life. Raila and I were navigators on opposing currents, charting different courses for the nation we both loved. At some point along that journey, we became political opponents, and often the weight of that competition felt immense. Baba, as we fondly refer to him, was a man who made you sharpen your own ideas, compelling you to defend your position with rigor and passion. However, in the recent years, a different bond was forged, one of respect, of shared patriotism, and a common desire to see a united Kenya. That journey from fierce political opponents to patterns in the pursuit of handshake unity taught me the true measure of the man. I saw firsthand his unwavering passion for this country, his deep-seated belief in justice, and his incredible capacity to think beyond personal ambition for the sake of the national peace. He was a formidable opponent, but he was an even more invaluable ally in the cause of reconciliation. I have lost a friend and a brother. I will miss our conversations, sometimes challenging, always insightful, and the fire of belief that never left his eyes. To Mama Ida, the children, and the entire Odinga family, I extend my deepest, most heartfelt condolences. You have shared Baba with Kenya for a lifetime, and we mourn with you. We have lost a father to the nation, a steadfast champion for the people, and a true son of Kenya. His legacy is not just in the political battles he fought, but in the peace he helped build. It is etched in every fabric of our nation. Rest in peace, my brother. Your work here is done, but your echo will never fade. So even the activist Boniface Mwangi, who is also a presidential aspirant, sent his condolences. He said, "My condolences to the Raila Odinga family. Mzee amepumzika. His watch is over. What gives me hope is that last year, a generation that will liberate Kenya from the shackles of bad leadership and corruption was born. Viva the revolution, viva." Well, we know whom people think is the next Raila, said, "This day will forever be etched in my heart. The day my greatest hero rested. Raila was more than my political mentor. He was like a father to me. I grew up without a dad after he passed on when I was in class 3. And when I came to Nairobi and met Baba, he took me under his wings and became my father both in politics and in life. I loved him deeply, and his loss has left a hole in my heart that only God can fill. My heart goes out to his family, Mama Ida, Rose Odinga, Junior Odinga, Winnie Odinga, and their grandchildren and their entire family. I cannot begin to imagine your pain and heartbreak. I can only pray that God comforts you and grants you peace and strength that surpasses all understanding during this difficult time. As we mourn his passing, we also celebrate a legacy that will never fade. We celebrate a man that gave everything to his country, a fierce champion for the people, a man of incredible, undeniable influence. Words fail me because truly no words possibly do justice to the man that was Baba Raila Amollo Odinga. You have fought a good fight. You have finished the race. Rest well, Jacom. Your light will never fade. You are forever in my heart. Even the Tanzanian president sent her tributes. She said, nimepokea kwa masikitiko makubwa taarifa ya kifo cha mheshimiwa Raila. Tumepoteza kiongozi mahiri, mwanamajumui wa Afrika, mpenda amani na mtafuta suluhu, ambaye ushawishi na upendo wake haukuwa tu ndani ya Kenya, bali Afrika Mashariki na Afrika kwa jumla. Msiba huu si wa Kenya pekee, bali wetu sote. Kwa niaba ya serikali na wananchi wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, ninatuma salamu za pole kwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Ruto, Mama Aida Odinga, watoto, familia, ndugu, jamaa, marafiki na wananchi wote wa Kenya kwa msiba huu. Tunaungana kuwaombea kwa Mwenyezi Mungu awajalie subra, faraja na imani katika kipindi hiki na ailaze roho yake mahali pema peponi. So for those who don't understand Swahili, she just said she's saddened by the news. Raila was a significant figure in Africa, not just East Africa, and she sent her condolences to the family and the rest of the country. The Prime Minister of India sent his condolences. I understand they were close friends. He said he's deeply saddened by the passing of his dear friend, former Prime Minister of Kenya, Raila. He was a towering statesman and a cherished friend of India. I had the privilege of knowing him closely since my days as Chief Minister of Gujarat, and our association continued over the years. He had a special affection for India, our culture, values, and ancient wisdom. This was reflected in his efforts to strengthen India-Kenya ties. He particularly admired Ayurveda and traditional medicine systems of India, having witnessed their positive impact on his daughter's health. I extend my deepest condolences to his family, friends, and to the people of Kenya in this hour of grief. Yeah, so you can see the guy was an icon. So whether you loved him or hate him, it is a huge blow, especially to his followers. Yeah, I'll just focus on tributes. I'm sure so much more will erupt after his late rest, especially the state of the ODM party. I'm sure there's going to be major changes. I'm also sure Ruto is very shaken because he was relying on Raila to support him during the 2027 elections. So we'll talk about politics later. So just like and share this video. Thank you for stopping by and see you on the next one. Bye for now.